Hey everybody, I'm Zach and I like movies, and I am here finally to talk about Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. This is the 8th movie in the Mission Impossible series, and the 4th one to be directed by Christopher McQuarrie, teaming up again with his boy Tom Cruise, and he and Tom are here to save cinema, which has really been basically their mission statement since McQuarrie came on as director with the 5th movie, Rogue Nation, and man, they've certainly gave it their all. We can't say they didn't do the best they could, and it's just been an absolute ride watching these two just constantly try to one up themselves in what they both in like terms of like what they achieve in terms of action. In terms of action filmmaking on the bigger and bigger scale, using the absolute using IMAX cameras to the absolute fullest, but also like continuing to give satisfying emotional character payoff with the IMF team and just continuing Ethan Hunt's story. But with the Reckoning, it's a duology. Like, yeah, Dead Reckoning dropped the part 1, but Dead Reckoning is definitely the part 1 to the Final Reckoning's part 2. Like, its part 2 is almost exclusively all payoff from the first movie, and while I can say that Dead Reckoning still mostly succeeds in its part in as a solo movie, despite its part 1-isms, it is missing some things. It is like kind of missing some things that Final Reckoning kind of has to do. Like the overarching villain, the villain of the Reckoning pair is a borderline omniscient artificial intelligent supercomputer called the Entity, which is just it's so over the top, so ridiculous, and it's a little frustrating because like the Final Reckoning has to do that like 20 minutes of like explanation of like what the Entity is, how it like what the Entity means for life and humanity on this earth that you get in like a Metal Gear game, because the Entity is basically the Patriots. You can't tell me McQuarrie has not heard of Metal Gear Solid. You can't. Anyway, but it felt like with the Reckoning movies, now that both are out, and now that I have the full picture of it, it definitely feels like McQuarrie and Cruise, they perfected a Mission Impossible formula with Rogue Nation and Fallout, and now they decided to do something different. And different, I think, is very bold. It's still very interesting, and certainly has plenty of things to offer, but it also can feel a little messy. It can feel a little unexpected and in some places unsatisfying. But taken as a whole, I think the Reckoning movies still have plenty to offer, and the Final Reckoning, I do think, is a pretty satisfying conclusion. And it certainly is doing its damnedest to sort of bold cap, italicize, underline, triple underline the final in the title. This movie goes out of its way to like really like almost browbeat just like how like that of the finality of everything. If Mission Impossible Fallout was like leaning in on like Ethan's fears of total near apocalyptic devastation, then Final Reckoning is kind of answering those fears, that like everything that he has ever feared would happen is coming true. Everything is his fault. It is also all the fears that he's laying on his shoulders are now coming to pass, and he has to try everything he can to stop what he's doing, because now the Entity has been infecting cyberspace, and now it's like infecting like stock markets and like all of the nuclear arms divisions in all of the countries that have nuclear arms, because there's a lot of them. and so we're on like we're on a small window of time before all of the nukes get control under control of the entity, and then it's Armageddon. And so Ethan and his crew, they're like hired by President Angela Bassett and her like cadre of like secretaries of defense and intelligence, and there's Kittredge and Ethan and the team. They gotta go here and do the thing. He has to find a way to sink down into a sunken submarine, and then he gets on. Then that somehow sends him on a big biplane fight. And man, it's certainly a move. It's certainly a very stuffed movie. Like Final Reckoning is the part 2 to part 1, like, and you definitely can tell that this was like a 6-hour movie they put into like split into like 2. But even with that said, it's not a clean, very smooth experience. Like the earlier reviews were not really exaggerating or even really kidding about how rocky that first act is. I wouldn't say the first full hour, but it certainly feels like the first full hour. The first act of this movie is really overloaded with a lot of expositing, and it's also doing like a lot of repeated flashbacking to like this series as a whole, into like just footage from the previous series. Also Dead Reckoning a lot more than you would think, and it's doing it in this way to like be kind of like it's like a big send off / victory lap for the series that well deserved, but also it's like the editing is really chaotic in this front end, and to the it honestly did remind me of The Rise of Skywalker, at least the opening of The Rise of Skywalker, where like it's just moving way too fast. It's like we're going here, now we're here, now we're here, now we're here, and like things are like they're happening, but nothing's like happening yet. And the flow is choppy. It's like delivering exposition, and then it's like reinforcing the exposition, and then repeating the exposition again, and I was genuinely concerned, like, are they blowing it? But I wouldn't say it's I wouldn't say they did. I do not think they blew it at all. Like, eventually, once it did find its footing, about like I want to say around the end of the first hour, then it's like moving like it has nitro for blood. Then we're off to the races with the standard Mission Impossible standard McQuarrie cruise expectations. But yeah, it's so odd that first end is it's uncharacteristically choppy. It's uncharacteristically also handholdy with like a lot of like what is repeated and what the information it repeats to the audience. Like, and if there's anything that McQuarrie was best at, it was clarity and character, and it had trust in the audience to catch up to things. And this one, it felt borderline patronizing, how sometimes it would just like have this really quick borderline intrusive, like actively intrusive, like quick flashback to something we already saw like 10-20 minutes ago. Like it's so weird. Like, this is, I really want to hear the commentary for this, because I could just feel McHugh and the editors just toiling away about that first hour, because there's a lot they have to set up, and they have a lot that they need to just they have a lot to just establish, and establishing stakes, establishing where characters are, where the world is. And as far as like where the world is, like, this is the Mission Impossible movie that is most concerned about the state of the world that it exists in. Like some of these movies, especially in especially Mission Impossible 2 and Mission Impossible 3, they're very of the time that they came out, in terms of aesthetic styles and sort of trends that it was sort of following and sort of aping while doing its own thing. But the Final Reckoning is actively concerned and talking about the state of the world of 2025. It's not so much grandstanding about what it's named, but it is a very very agreeable statements about we need to have it's a very sincere plea for trust, for empathy, for maybe we shouldn't have nukes. Everybody have nukes are bad, it's all doing this while aiming to be this big send off for the series, while also being for a decent stretch of this, a straight up nuclear arms thriller in the vein of Failsafe. See, if you haven't seen Failsafe, that's basically what if Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb was a straight up thriller and not a comedy. It's great. It's absolutely killer thriller. Henry Fonda's the president. It's great. And so you have that. It also does a little bit of Crimson Tide in there with the submarine stuff, but then it also delivers on those epic Mission Impossible thrills, and it is a part 2 with so much in it that I was beginning to think maybe a third movie could have been made just to help this one breathe a little better. But like I said, once it does find its footing, it is absolutely cooking. Yes, there is a after the cluttered opening 30 to 40 minutes, you get this decent stretch of basically Ethan Hunt begging everybody to let him do the big dangerous stunts, and you have an absolutely stupendous cast of overqualified actors being very serious in war rooms, speaking very importantly, and there's all these close-up canted angle close-ups of all these actors speaking in that very important, very sincere hushed tone, I need you to trust me one last time. They'll do a lot of that, but all that being said, though that does again break away from just moving one thing next to the next as Mission Impossible formula. This one still really delivers great entertainment, because yes, that is a great cast of actors being very serious, and they're even when they're talking about talking about the entity, which you can't again, when you say the entity, you have to speak say it very mostly, because these movies don't pretend that they're stupid, so why should I? And but they're talking about something that's this omniscient AI that has inspired a doomsday cult with fanatic followers, it's taken it very sincerely, and that I find that very fun. So yeah, I do fully believe it when you have General Nick Offerman talking with Secretary of Defense Holt McCallany to President Angela Bassett about we need to send our own nuclear bombs out to destroy the other nukes out there, because we need to make sure that, because we are the only ones who can trust ourselves with what we do. Or maybe that's what the entity wants us to think. The entity wants you to distrust you. The entity wants you to distrust me. And it's insane. It's over the top. But damn it, I'm really buying this. And yeah, you still get really great character moments throughout this, from new faces, the new faces with that they introduced in Dead Reckoning. Hayley Atwell's back. She's still just a delight to watch. Pom Klementieff as Paris is awesome. She gets so much good stuff to do. I also like that she's French. She never speaks a word of English. That's a nice change up. I also love like when they get Palm's character in, they have like just a complete unceremonious mask rip, and it's borderline hilarious how it happened. They also have great, like, really cool stuff with Shea Whigham's character in the original. Man, Henry Czerny is again playing Kittredge, and he's such a great, like, just piece of shit guy, because he's a very reasonable like government bureaucrat guy. Like it's totally understandable why you're acting this way, but you are acting very unreasonably, and I kind of hate you for it. But regardless, and then you get like new characters, like you get really good stuff with Tramell Tillman as the submarine captain, Mr. Milchick from Severance as the submarine captain, and he's goddamn great. He's so seriously, put him in everything. You know who should also be put in everything? Katie O'Brien. She was in, you've probably seen her in, she was in Twisters for a minute. She is absolutely dynamite with Kristen Stewart in Love Lies Bleeding. She's big. She's got a movie star face. She is awesome. She's hot. She has a little nice lesbian fist bump moment with Tom Cruise. It's great. She's also going to be in what was it? The Running Man remake by Edgar Wright. She's on the come up. Look forward to see her being in a lot of things, as she should be. What's also great? Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg. They're great. Ving has like maybe one moment, but like it's him just doing what Luther does, just sitting in a chair, looking fly as hell, doing a bunch of like 90s tech stuff, and it's great. And again, Simon Pegg just being an absolute sweetheart, being the funny heart of the team, and even Esai Morales, I think he gets as the villain Gabriel. I think it's not so much that he's like a bad villain, but it is definitely like it's still kind of following up like things that were set up with him in as him being like a past threat from Ethan's past, and it still feels like I don't did we really need that? It felt like they're trying to kind of repeat what he means, what like Solomon Lane meant to Ethan, but like it only does so much for me. But the things that he does as a villain, in terms of like, this is my plan, like how many I've laid this trap for you, and how elaborate and big the trap is. It's crazy. And then you even get like a big callback. Even like the callback moments sometimes honestly do work. They have a whole, like, they bring back the Langley computer guy that they stole the knock list from in the first movie. Like, he gets to be a full character. Like, I was expecting like a total glub shitto cameo moment, but no, he's like, they bring him in, and like, and on the one hand, like, yeah, that's honestly kind of cool, but also that does come with like, just sort of like this like movie's odd habit of like re-emphasizing things we already know. Like, they show a flashback of the knife falling from the first Mission Impossible movie like 3 times. It's like, okay, now I feel like you're patronizing me with that one. Stop it, please. We know you're better than this. And some of those editing choices feel like studio notes, but anyway, and I have to say, it's interesting that with this movie, the most important movies in the series, it's not just Dead Reckoning, it's Mission Impossible 1 and Mission Impossible 3, and I feel so validated by that, you have no idea. And I do sort of, I am fine with this movie. Like, I absolutely do recommend this movie. I do think it is worth your time, despite the rocky beginnings, and despite like how the change, this sort of mix up in like the formula, because this movie, honestly, as far as action goes, only has like only really has 2 set pieces. They're big, bold, some of the best set pieces that they have ever done. Some of Tom Cruise's anything that Tom has done in his career, but don't expect this to be like what Fallout or Rogue Nation did with like it's just one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. We're keeping the energy going and flowing. This is much more basically like a very grip, like it aims to be like this like gripping and sad and very serious, like almost like suspense thriller. Like when Ethan like dives down into the submarine, it is an actual for real him in this sunken submarine, and it's genuinely like atmospheric and kind of creepy and haunting, and it's oh my god, like I didn't like you're watching it and you won't realize that like my heart was like tightening, my chest was tightening up because I was just like so absolutely afraid that like oh my god, like this is nerve-wracking. And then when we get to the big biplane sequence when like the big bold IMAX camera with the aerial photography, it's insane. It's like the biplane stuff in this is like the helicopter stuff in Fallout, but taken to 11 and then 12 and 13. It's oh god, like this movie, and like despite this movie and like beginning very rough, it ends very strong. And I think I totally understand where people are coming from if they don't like it. I don't begrudge anyone for not liking it, but I've accepted that I'm going to be a defender. I think this was really good. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was tense. I thought it was, and overall I did, despite it being kind of choppy at points, I did find it a very satisfying conclusion. I think it was the victory lap stuff felt very earned. I also like that this one was showed Tom's age the most, because like it was like it shows all these like it shows like all the clips. It shows like clips from like all the other movies, and it's like, yay, hey, Tom's been doing this for 30 years. Isn't that cool? But also it's like, Tom's been doing this for like 30 years. He's like, he can't keep doing it. And yeah, this is the last of these movies. He is 63 years old this July, or maybe it's July, whatever. He'll be 63 years old this year. He cannot keep doing this. But damn, they're going out swinging, and I think it really works. I liked it. So, and on the whole, I think I would rank this the weakest of the McHugh era. But that's like saying, ooh, this pizza's really good, but it's not the greatest pizza I've ever eaten. But hey, it's still good pizza, and even a lesser Mission Impossible movie is still better. It's still a cut above any movie out at any given time. It's got a fan in me. I think it might grow on people. I think this is really good. So for now, after just one viewing, it's a very full movie too. Don't be surprised if you walk out kind of exhausted. So for now, I will give this a very enthusiastic, very highly recommendable, very very strong 7 out of 10. So check it out for yourselves. What did you think of The Final Reckoning? Did you like it? I totally understand if you don't, but man, can't believe it's over. Yeah, been watching this series since I was a kid. Man, it's crazy to think it's over. And very good ending. And I think that'll be it for me. I'm Zach. I like movies. I got a lot more movies to watch. And yeah, keep watching movies. Keep watching movies in the theaters, because that's what Tom Cruise, the president of movies, wants for you. And keep watching movies, because movies are good and movies are life. And I'll see you next time, and you take care of yourselves.